Hi, this is Matthew. Welcome to Adventure Arkansas. This week we are going on an adventure, a bikepacking adventure through the Valle Vidal and Cimarron, New Mexico. Are you excited?
Yes.
Here we are on the road. The elevation is kind of killer right now. This is where we stopped to put on some sunscreen. Really beautiful. Okay, so for the first time on our trip, on our bike ride, you can see what we're aiming for. It's the top of that mountain.
Woo!
Woo! Alright, we made it to the Carson National Forest. Hooray! So, if you'll notice over here, you'll see that a lot of the forest is actually burnt down compared to over there. So what happened was a giant forest fire went through in 2008 or 2010, somewhere around there, and it burnt all the trees. So normally when a forest fire comes through, the ponderosa pines have a natural defense on the bark and it doesn't burn the tree down. This fire, however, was so hot that it burned the trees and it melted the sap into the ground. Because of that, the only thing that can grow back in some of these regions is scrub oak. We've reached a New Mexico roadblock. A bunch of cows. So here is the valley that overlooks Little Castilla. So that right there is Castilla. And then you see right below it is Ash Mountain, north and south. Those are the two bald peaks. And then the rock face that's right below that is called the Wall or the Rock Wall, which the road that we're on right now goes up. So tomorrow night we're going to be spending the night in Clayton Corral, which is at the foot of Little Castilla. Alright, so we made it to McChrystal Campground, which is close to where we're staying. We have lunch, which is a tortilla and a couple beef sticks. I accidentally left the mozzarella cheese at home in my refrigerator. So, no cheese, just beef sticks. Okay, so we just got camp set up and we have all of our laundry out to dry and we're going to go do the Ring Place Interpretive Trail.
And logging and all that stuff. It's approximately 10 minutes from our camp. It's only been a mile hiked. Very nice. The breeze is very nice over here. I'm quite the fan. But as you can see with the house, you can see how they had to build on top of it as they kept having more daughters and then eventually it failed. Hopefully someday it'll be restored.
Okay, so here we are at the spot. Gonna filter some water. This is in the meadows and the field right next to where we're staying. It's really cool, really beautiful.
Gorgeous.
There might be some rain later tonight, but hopefully not. Okay, so this is how we do the water filter. I've got the water, which is actually really dirty, and my Sawyer water filter, and it just screws right on top of the Smart water bottle. No product endorsement, it's just what works. And take the top off. There you go, we got water.
Comes out.
Well, it's a good morning, second day. This is what our bear bag situation looks like. For some reason, I didn't have enough paracord for the bear bags, so they're kind of lame, but in reality, it's just deterrence anyway. So we made an unfortunate realization this morning. So for the breakfast, I appeared to have packed both the Mountain House warm breakfast and bagels that we were going to eat with almond butter. So now we have way too much breakfast food. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down to Ring Place, one of the Boy Scout camps down here, and see if we can pawn off the bagels, which are really heavy and take up a lot of space, maybe for some clean water. They have a water buffalo that has lots and lots of clean water. So maybe that trade will work out. Alright, 3.5 miles in. Just got up a nasty climb over there. But I believe on the other side of this valley right here is the road up there somewhere. So I think the Windy Gap goes up there. But I'm unsure. Either way, there's still a lot of climbing to do and a lot of mileage. So we're going to get on it. All right, we just made it up Windy Gap. There's Shuri Ponds, Baldy, and the road continues over there. But there's just an awesome 360. It's great views up here. All right, we made it to camp tonight. There's Clayton Corral. There's our tent. And then there, you can see Mount Wheeler in the background over there. It actually hailed on us on the ride up here. It was very strange. It looks like it could be raining a little bit later. So we went ahead and set our tent up and everything. It's like 3:30 right now, so we're just ready to go to bed pretty much. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning. We went and woke up and cooked breakfast. This is part of the peak that we're going to be climbing. So we're on the road right now, walking to the start of the approach, and you can see the very steep bit right there, and then there's another steep bit behind the trees right here. Those two are the hardest part. The rest of it is a fairly easy incline, nothing to worry about. And also, there's not a cloud in the sky right now, which helps me be a little bit more at peace, because the weather last night said that it might rain around 9 o'clock, but as of right now, it looks like clear sailing. Just to put it in perspective how steep this slope actually is, we've gone a quarter mile from the road. We're already this high off the ground. This is ridiculous. It's really hard to see in video, but it's one of the hardest slopes I've ever hiked. All right, we've been hiking for about 2 hours now. We reached our first little clearing. We're less than a mile away from the top, so hopefully it won't be that bad of a hike. We got really lucky with the weather. It was supposed to rain today, but there's not a single cloud in the sky. It's awesome. All right, we are officially above tree line. You can see where we camped. Way over there. Awesome views though. This is our first real view of the top. There were many false peaks. Well, this is it. The top of the peak. 12,500 something feet. What do you think about it?
I'm tired, but it's really pretty.
How was the climb?
Hard, but it was fun.
So as we're going down this hill, all I can really think is, man, I wish I had my bike right now. So one thing you might notice is we have a lot more videos going down the mountain than there is going up. That's because it's significantly easier going down than up. But, fun little tidbit, we're going to be walking more today than we actually rode on our bikes yesterday. Although with less equipment. I think our bags probably weigh like less than 15 right now. Just between water and jackets and stuff like that. But yesterday, we were fully loaded. We went 11 miles and today we're going to be going 12. But with views like this, I can't really complain. So, because I didn't explain it earlier, the way that we got up here is we followed this decrepit old fence line right here, all the way up until the tree line, and then kind of eyeballed it from there. There's not an official trail that goes up here, but along the tree line there's a little bit of a walking path from people that have done it before. But you can see like it's just, it was laid here in the 50s as a county line marker, and now it's just kind of like meh. So one of the precautions that you really have to be aware of whenever you're hiking mountains like this is the weather. Now, we got away pretty clear. It's not really a whole lot of weather. It was pretty perfect, honestly. But if you have, inclement weather, you have to turn around and go back, which can be kind of disheartening, especially if you're doing a bigger mountain like a 14er. You get halfway up, you look at the watch, it's 12 o'clock, you start to see the clouds roll in, and you got to turn around, because if you're up there on top of the mountain, whenever it's raining or storming, it's
you know, lots of exposure, there's a good possibility that you could either get very seriously injured or die. So stuff like this, you know, we don't take lightly. It's important to plan out what you're doing and, you know, hope for the best, but if things look bad, you know, always be cautious. Alright, so that concludes our bikepacking adventure. If you want to watch the rest of our adventure, please follow through with our next video. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown on what we liked about the trip, what we didn't like, and things that could be improved. I'll go ahead and start off. So the thing that I really liked about this trip in particular was, for me at least, was the downhill at the very end.
I rode in the car for that part.
It was really awesome. It was just like 45 minutes straight of just downhill. Really cool. Something that I didn't particularly like about the trip was that I forgot to bring sunscreen whenever we hiked. So my forehead got really, really burnt. It was not pleasant. And then something that I would change for the trip in the future, if I were to do the same trip again, I would definitely incorporate the downhill being part of the full trip instead of having someone pick us up on that last day. The way that the route worked out was it was mostly uphill, and that's kind of demoralizing after a while. So
my favorite part was probably the hike. I like hiking a little bit more than I like biking, so the hike was awesome, and it was highest I've ever been at 12,000 feet, so that was great. My least favorite part was every single inch of uphill. I died a little bit on the inside, but I'm getting better with it, so that's great. Something I would change, Matthew has a lot of really light gear, and it helps a lot with his load. I don't have that, and mine was really heavy, so I would get some more of that.
Cool. Yeah, once again, that's the end of our backpacking video. If you want to see more, go ahead and watch our other video that continues our trip through Colorado. And yeah, have a good one.